Shalom, it's Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet Good Torah. So, what can we do in these crazy times? What is going to protect us from all the madness, from the dramatic rise in anti-Semitism all around us? What is going to protect us in these times? So, unfortunately, recently, we've seen this horrible, really nothing else can describe, but a terrorist attack in America on this beautiful young couple. And they were actually going to a meeting in Washington, D.C. at a Jewish museum. And they were actually trying to find a way to bring peaceful solutions to what's happening in Israel. And they were killed by just someone just filled with just pure hatred for the Jewish people. And very recently, just the other night here in Baltimore, a rabbi was attacked by, I think, a few teenagers or young men. They were trying to carjack him, and they pushed him down. And fortunately, Baruch Hashem, he pulled out a gun and he was able to scare away the attackers. So, what can we do? What does the Torah say? What is our protection when we see this crazy rise in attacks against the Jewish people? So, one easy solution is to say, "Oh, I'll run out and I'll get a gun," or if we're in Israel, Eretz Israel, there's an army. But what is going to make that successful? Because unfortunately, sometimes it's not enough, as we've seen. It's 600 days, 600 days after the attack on October the 7th, and there's still Jewish hostages in Gaza. So Israel has a very powerful army, but yet they still haven't been able to bring home all of the hostages in Gaza, and unfortunately, they still haven't been able to completely defeat Hamas. And then you see, it's very scary, even beyond that on the horizon, Iran is very close to full enrichment of the uranium and possessing many nuclear weapons. So what is going to help us? What does the Torah say? How do we protect ourselves? And how can we ask Hashem for help? Or what's the missing ingredient? What do we need that's going to help us be more successful? Let me see if I can bring this up here. So Parsha we just had, Parsha Bechukosai, some of the most powerful words in the Torah. It's a promise that Hashem, our God, has promised, special promise He's made to us about the brachos, about the blessings that we'll receive if we follow the Torah. It's just these simple words. It says, "V'im bechukosai telechu," and if you go in my special mitzvahs, the mitzvahs of the chukim, and these are mitzvahs that are more mystical and we may not understand. We may not understand them. It may not be logically reasonable to us, but these are also some of the mitzvahs that Hashem gave us out of the 613. And says, "Ve'es mitzvosai tishmeru," and if you will guard my mitzvahs, "V'asisam osam," and if you will do them. So Hashem makes a special promise to us. We learn the Torah to learn how to do the 613 mitzvahs. And Hashem promises special blessing for just following them. So not only do we get the benefit of the mitzvahs they elevate us spiritually, they help us grow into better people. They help to make our relationships better with ourselves, with our family and friends. They draw us closer to Hashem. But on top of that, Hashem's promised special blessings in this world to protect us while we're doing the mitzvahs. The first blessing, he says that he promises to give us rain. And this is so, we'll have good produce and the trees, so we'll have plenty of fruits and vegetables. And the blessing will be that we'll have so much, produce, we'll have so much fruits and vegetables growing that we won't even have time to finish harvesting from one year when the next year's crops come in. We'll have, the best bread in the world. Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, is renowned for its wheat and barley. It used to, in the ancient world, it was renowned as that the seven special species of fruits and grains, and two of them were the wheat and the barley. But most importantly to us now, it seems this is something that's been sorely missed for the past 600 days in Israel. V'nasati shalom ba'aretz. Hashem will give us peace. Ushechavtem ve'ein macharid. And we'll just be able to live, and no one's going to make us afraid. V'hishbati chaya ra'ah min haaretz. And there will be no attack, there will be no vicious animals. V'cherev lo sa'avor be'artzachem. And no sword will cross your land. So not only will we have peace inside the land, and not be constantly under the threat of as many terrorist groups, but there'll be no invading army coming from outside the land. Or daftem es oivechem v'naflu lifnechem lacherev. And this is the important ingredient that we seem to be missing right now, and this is where we need to build our merit. So your army will give chase to your enemies, and they will fall before you by the sword. So sometimes it's not enough just having an army. We need Hashem's help for our army to be victorious, and seems to be one of the factors, unfortunately, that we're not fully getting this blessing. It says Viradfu mikem chamisha mea umea mikem. So even 5 people in the Jewish army will chase off 100 in the enemy army, and 100 umea mikem revava. And even 100 soldiers will be able to chase off 10,000. Yirdafu v'naflu oivechem lifnechem lacherev. And your enemies will fall before you by the sword. So one of the things that we seem to be missing right now is this blessing and the protection for the soldiers and the absolute victory over the people that are attacking the Jewish people. And one of the ways that we can increase the merit. And if we really want to defeat Hamas, and we want to see the rescue of the hostages, and we want to see attacks against the Jewish people stop from all over the world, we can increase our merit by simply learning Torah and doing the mitzvos. And the more Jewish people that are involved in this, the more the merit grows, the more we're going to have the blessing to be victorious in this war, and then we're going to have the shalom, and we're going to experience more of the peace, and not this constant attack. Shem also, he promises that part of these blessings that we'll we'll have many children. And most importantly, that Hashem is going to establish and maintain the bris with us, a special covenant between Hashem and the Jewish people. The grain we have is going to last for a long time, and we'll have to actually constantly be clearing out the old grain to make room for the new grain. There's so much produce. And the most miraculous is Benasati Mishkani Besokechem. That Hashem is going to make his house. He says, I will give my house in the midst of all of you. And meaning the rebuilding of a Beis Hamikdash, where Hashem's presence, this infinite being, makes his presence seen by all the world, by the Shekinah resting on top of the Kodesh HaGadoshim, in the Holy of the Holies, on top of the Aron HaKodesh, the Ark of the Covenant. And the world will see, once again, they'll see this miraculous Shekinah, wrapped in a pillar of cloud by the day and a pillar of fire at night. And they'll know that Hashem is with us. Below Sigal Nafshi Eskem. Hashem says, I will not reject you. And V'chis Chalakti B'sochem B'sochechem V'hayisi Lachem Lelukim. And Hashem says, I will always be among you, always be, inside you. And even to the extent where we take it up to such a level where all the Jewish people are once again learning the Torah and following the mitzvahs, that the Shekinah itself will rest even on the neshamas, even on the souls of all the Jewish people, like it rested on the Avos and the Imachos. So like it rested on Abraham and Sarah, Abraham and Sarah, Yitzhak and Rivka, Isaac and Rebekah, and Yaakov, Rachel and Leah, and Jacob, Rachel and Leah. And then it says, Hashem, he says, I will be your God. V'atem tiyu li la'am, and you will be for me a people. So I think, unfortunately, what we've had over the last few hundred, 400 years or so, we've had a lot of people that have done great damage inside the Jewish people and really broken the emunah of the Jewish people somewhat away from Hashem. This one infinite being that we have a special connection with. I mean, who would dare attack us when there's absolute knowledge of Hashem in the world? Who would dare attack a Jewish person? Right? It would be unheard of. I mean, you would have to be crazy if you know that we're fully under the protection of an infinite being to attack a Jewish person. But this year is it's missing. This fear of attacking the Jewish people is missing from the world. And it's missing in sense because we're lacking in the year. We're lacking in that awe and respect of Hashem. And great damage has been done in telling us that, Chas v'shalom, like we don't need to follow the Torah, and that there's been, this misleading ideas that, just an army is enough, and that we don't need Hashem's help for the army to be successful or for a Jewish person to defend themselves successfully. So we have one more week now. We're heading to Shavuos. We're heading again to the special holiday of Matan Torah, when the Jewish people they stood before Mount Sinai, and we actually heard Hashem speak to us. And it's a shame. It's like how many Jewish people are disconnected from this special holiday. I mean, this is one of the most important holidays. We have three main regalim, three main festivals of the year: Pesach, Passover. So most Jewish people, Baruch Hashem, they follow Passover, but you're only taking the beginning of the journey. It's not just leaving Egypt, not just leaving what's physically constraining us. We have to take the second part of the journey, which is receiving the Torah and then learning the Torah, doing the mitzvos, and that leads us to the most special of the holidays, Sukkot, where we live in the sukkah, and it reminds us of the days that we lived in the desert for 40 years, and we were miraculously surrounded by the Anani Yakovod, the clouds of glory. And it also it gives us a vision of the future, where once again we'll see the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash, and Hashem's presence will clearly live within the Jewish people, and then we'll see the fulfillment of all these brachas, all the blessings that Hashem promised us. And then there won't be a nation in the world that will dare to attack the Jewish people. Okay, so we live in these scary times now, but we have the answer. We have the cure. We have the refuah. And it's just as simple as just learning some Torah, doing mitzvos, and gemilas chasadim, just doing acts of kindness. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.